Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today our show is The Fed's View on commercial real estate. We have Brian Bailey. He is the expert on commercial real estate and real estate for the Fed. And Brian, one of the questions I think a lot of our listeners and viewers have are kind of where are we in the cycle? I mean, some of these prices of some of these properties, especially in the gateway markets, institutional quality properties, are really selling some really low cap rates. The cycle seems to be where we've been in 6 years. It seems like we might be coming toward the end of a cycle, but things still look pretty good. What do you think? Where are we?
Well, certainly the question is coming up a lot these days because of the robust conditions. And so, one of the things that we've spent some time trying to kind of put some analysis around is, where are we? I mean, is this, similar to 2006 or, how are things different? Kind of looking at that. And certainly, one of the factors that jumps off the page to me when I look at the statistics is foreign capital right now. I mean, foreign capital was, in the neighborhood of 45 to 50 billion in 2007 that was invested in commercial real estate in the U.S. Today, it's somewhere between 90 and 100 billion.
Is that changing, adjusting prices temporarily or for a long period of time? I mean, that's kind of driving down prices. Driving down cap rates and driving up prices.
Right, it's driving down cap rates, which is also having an upward impact on pricing. And certainly, in talking with some of those investors, we're being told that, some investors from some of the Asian countries certainly have a very, very long-term view of those investments. But obviously, there's a significant amount of money coming from Canada, coming from Europe, not so much, but some coming from South America. And so certainly, those investors all have, different dynamics and different hold periods. And so certainly we're aware of it. The second thing we're interested in, we kind of talked about earlier, the banks are tightening their underwriting in an economy that seems to be on solid footing. I think, one of the other things is, greater bank oversight, which we talked about because, the regulators are working very hard to ensure that we don't have a repeat of, 2009 or 2010. I think that, you look at, and we touched on this, but the shadow lenders, the alternative sources of capital certainly are rising. That certainly is different than what we saw in 2007. Market fundamentals are much different. And look at the spectrum. So you've got apartments that arguably may be close to some kind of peak, or still on an upward trajectory, but certainly are much further along than the retail sector. Right. And you see really some stagnation in retailing, all because probably the disruptors. E-commerce continues to grow. E-commerce retail sales continue to grow at 3 to 4 times what they are at bricks and mortar retailers. And we've also seen a number of store closures in the last 60, 90, 120 days. Pricing. Arguably you could say, if you look at the spread between cap rates and the 10-year Treasury, I understand that there may be a better correlation between some of the corporate debt, but look at the pricing in 2006 and 2007. The spread was 100 to 150 basis points. So arguably, what would I rather own? Would I rather own a Treasury that's liquid, I can sell tomorrow, or I've got some commercial real estate that I may need you to help sell, but obviously there may be days that you're unable to sell, and it's some market period of time, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. There is some kind of hold period. There is some kind of illiquidity. You look at today, and those spreads are anywhere from 350 basis points above Treasury to 600 basis points for hotels. So certainly you could argue that we mispriced risk, the market mispriced risk in 2006 and 2007. Obviously, the CMBS market is in a state of disarray. So certainly that is different compared to 2006. But here's a good one. You've got lots of less speculation at the consumer level. I mean, think back to 2006, think back to the social interaction you had with your neighbors, and your neighbors were saying, hey, I just bought this home down the way and I've already got 20% appreciation in the first
flipping condos,
flipping houses, flipping condos, and so certainly there's a lot less speculation.
Yeah.
And then I think the last point I would make is that there is a lot of energy around risk assessment right now, and really you kind of hone it, and we may continue to beat a dead horse, but you say how many people are asking today, how does the cycle end badly? Compared to, and it's a lot, there are a lot of people asking, how much risk do we have right now compared to 2007, 2006, when the question hardly ever came up.
Yeah.
And so certainly I think that there are a number of differences today. But
so you expect a longer cycle then?
But at the same point, I have to say, there are some institutions that I do see doing things that I would liken to some of the behaviors in 2006.
Right.
It's little equity in the deal. It's longer amortization terms. It's springing guarantees. It's some of the creative stuff that went on, and that's why we're spending more time talking with the banks, as far as the supervision and regulation function, to make sure that that's appropriately accounted for, and that risk is assessed and goes all the way up to senior management and the board of directors, that they're aware of kind of that profile.
So the good times should last at least a few more years?
I left my crystal ball at home, Michael, so I can't really comment on
all
that.
Right.
But certainly
Stay tuned. We're getting out the crystal ball for Brian Bailey with the Fed. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Stay with us. Hey there, thanks for checking out the Commercial Real Estate Show. Don't miss a video of special interest to you. Be sure to subscribe below. And if you appreciate the videos, be sure and thank our sponsors. There's a link to more information about them in the description. For more videos, podcasts, and articles, check out CREshow.com.